Hello, welcome to 15 minutes of consulting from best practices. My name is Maria Isabel Rios, and this is a very live Q&A session where we answer your questions about your consulting business in a tactical and practical way. For all of you who are here live, start typing in your questions in the comments. That way I can get to them as quickly as I can. David is not with us today. He'll be back soon. They're still in Argentina on vacation, and we hope you are enjoying it. For all of you who are in the United States and celebrated Thanksgiving, we hope you had a fantastic holiday and are replenished going into the holiday season and the new year. All right, Deidre, can you pull up the first question, please? Thank you. How should our firm think about bringing on longer term hires versus shorter term, more interns versus contractors? When is the right time to add staff? All right, Camille, thank you for your question. The first distinction I want to make is between interns versus contractors. When deciding if you want to bring in an intern versus a contractor, it's all a matter of expertise. In the US, usually interns are folks who are newer in their career. Perhaps they're still studying, whether it be their initial degree or some sort of master's or more advanced degree. If you don't need deep expertise, interns are usually a good source for you. Otherwise, think of contractors as some folks who have perhaps deeper expertise, and in some cases, very, very deep expertise. So the difference between a contractor and an employee is basically under which figure you're hiring them work with you. So thinking about bringing in people full-time, think of two conditions. One, are they fully paid for? Meaning, do you have enough work to recurrently pay their salaries? And two, do you value their cumulative knowledge and expertise? Does it make a difference on your business that they know your way of doing things? And will that add value over time to you? So if the answer to both questions is yes, they're fully paid for, and you value the cumulative knowledge and expertise that they're gaining, then perhaps this is a good time to bring in people full time. Otherwise, leveraging contractors is a great model for consulting as well. It's a great model to manage ebbs and flows in capacity, and also to get you the right type of deep expertise exactly when you need it. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Think about those criteria, and also think about what's your strategy. Do you want to grow your team to be an asset, or do you want to maximize cash? That impacts whether you take on a full-time employee or whether you take on a work through subcontracting. All right, thank you. Deidre, let's get to the second question. A non-core client team member emailed me with comments that read like a personal criticism of me. Ouch. The project is going well. They're feeling frustrated because the outcome of one of the discussions is not what they were hoping for. How do I respond? Steph, good on you for reaching out on this. This is clearly a delicate situation. It's hard not to take it personal. So sorry you're in this position to begin with. The first suggestion is address their underlying concern. The discussion didn't go well for them, so you do better if you acknowledge and empathize with their position. And also don't forget, this is not about you, right? So most likely, even if the email reads like a personal attack on you, the motivation and the backdrop behind it, it's not about you. So remove any defensiveness from your response if you can. My suggestion is that you write your response, you read it back out loud, imagining the person is still very angry at you. Does it read defensive? Are you attacking them in any way? If the answer to either of those questions is yes, then rewrite your answer until it doesn't sound that way. It doesn't sound defensive. It doesn't sound like you're counterattacking them. And also take time to build confidence in your relationship going forward. And if appropriate, help to solve the other issue. Meaning, oftentimes when things don't go their way, because when you're delivering a project, part of the problem is that either there's not enough alignment or agendas are competing. You will add a ton of value to the person who angrily wrote to you if you can help them find a path where all those things are reconciled, where they can get what they want and what they need, and at the same time, be a contributor to the project. And the overall outcome is greater. So try to find that common ground. More importantly, create space and distance between the heated moment and your relationship with the person. It's hard to do. We're confident if you have the right mindset, you can do it as well. All right. Deidre, can you share the third question, please? Thank you. I need to follow up with a prospect on a proposal we're negotiating. The challenge is the decision maker wants to get the rest of the executive team on board. And this question is from Tom. Thank you, Tom, for sending the question. All right. Focus on creating value for your prospect from the get-go. And that means that you're also positioning the decision maker with a construct that naturally leads to hiring you. This is like when you participate in writing an RFP and you write the RFP and the qualifications because you know what the outcomes should be and you're confident your firm can drive them. Same way here. Think about what would add the most value in this process and in the conversations with the rest of the executive team, and position your offerings and what you know as the most natural person to work on these. So do you have a framework that highlights the need in strategy to include what you don't know? For example, can they find their blind spots, or how are they going to go about them? Is there a voice of the customer piece? Is there a an inclusion for market changes, right? Is there market changing, and how these are areas where you're well positioned as an external expert to add value for the engagement. You're also more likely to win the engagement if in the conversations with the rest of the executive team, your prospect or the decision maker can highlight, look, these are all the reasons why we need to bring somebody from the outside. Lastly, I think with the decision maker, there are times to make a decision and times to gain consensus. Help him work through which of these times you're living in. It seems like he's trying to build consensus. Is it really the case? Is the clock running? Is the time running up? Help them figure out how much time do they have to involve the rest of the executive team, or are they in a position where they need to make a decision right now? All of those things will help you tremendously. After all that process, if needed, always offer to also talk with the executive team and share your views on what a successful project would look like. All right, thank you. We have a question from John. Hi, John. What would you recommend doing during a late year slump? We had our second best year ever this year, but all of our revenue was in the first half. Sorry to hear that, John. Congratulations on having your second best year yet. I will look at a couple of things. One, is your market one that it's cyclical? We find that for a lot of our clients, especially those that work in certain services for large corporations, the last quarter of the year is a peak time because folks are planning and budgeting and thinking about, in this case, 2024. Is your market one that is counter-cyclical to that, or to the example I just gave you, where folks will naturally tend to buy and sign for external consulting services in the beginning of the year. Yes, very cyclical. Okay, fair. So recognize there's an element of that going on in what you're seeing, right? And why you have a slump. The second element I would encourage you to consider is what can you do then in the first half of the year in anticipation to a slump towards the end of the year. So, for example, is this a time to have more visibility events? Is this a time to have more conversation with prospective partners that can bring you in front of new prospects so that when you start 2024, you started with new members in your tribe, which is always what we want to do. This third thing I would like you to consider doing is have what we call visioning meetings, where you sit with your current clients and with your large prospects, and you look together at what are their positioning, what's their positioning right now, what is the strategy right now, what do they need to do to accomplish their 2024 goals. And the last element of that exercise is to see where is there a fit between your consulting company and what people are doing in the market, and find areas of opportunity going forward to start this year or to start early next year in working with them. So with those three things in mind, recognizing number one, there is a cycle, and you just confirmed it. Also understanding what can you do to prepare during the off months of your cycle so you maximize your business development. And third, focusing on your existing clients and existing prospects in understanding what's the roadmap for them and how can you enhance that roadmap with them secondarily. All right, John, let me know if you got the answer you needed, and if not, we'll keep working on it. Awesome. Deidre, can you show one more question, please? Thank you. This question is from Jeff. I am switching from time-based fees to value-based fees. How do I communicate this to ongoing clients? Thank you, Jeff, for your questions, and congratulations. We believe you're taking a leap forward with your consulting firm by deciding to switch to value-based fees. So this is music to our ears, right? There's nothing we love more than for all of our clients to think about value-based fees. So 3 steps for you. Exactly, right on, Jeff. So explain what the change means to your client. How will the fees change going forward? What is the overall scope of what you're changing? Second, share where it adds value to them. For example, you're not making decisions based on budget, but you can take on work based on what's better for the project and for the end result. Also, they will know the number from the get-go, right? There's no variabilities in billing or in budgeting. They know how much the project will cost from the beginning and when they have to pay. So that's number 2. And third, ask if they have any questions about how the transition to value-based fees works or what it means for them. Oftentimes, clients have questions that are practical or that are rooted in their procurement system, or they want to know about a specific resource, or if your project is longer term, perhaps they want to know how do they ensure you don't lose steam throughout. All of those are very valid questions. So the more you can make the conversation of value to them and answering exactly what they need in the process to feel comfortable with your switch, the easier the switch will be. We find that when most folks transition, clients ultimately have no problem with a change at all, provided they understand from the get-go what are the implications for them, what it means, and that all their questions are answered. All right, we're coming up to the end of our 15 minutes together today. So we have a few invitations for you. The first one is to put this handle that Deidre just put up in your calendars as a recurring event. It will bring you wherever we are on LinkedIn next Monday and every Monday thereafter. And if you visit after 12:30 Eastern, you'll see the replay of what we just did this week. Second invitation is to connect. Connect with David, connect with me. We love being connected with you and learning from you. And there are handles as well. Third invitation is subscribe to David's articles. They're a treat to read. They're packed of knowledge and puns and jokes, and the comments on the articles add a lot of value as well. So they are so fun and interesting to read through. And lastly, send your questions either to us via LinkedIn or to info@davidafields.com. More importantly, we're all about our clients. And for all of us, our clients are at the heart and at the center of consulting. So think about what's important for them. Think about how you can add value to them and how you keep building a better world through your work, through your clients. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Bye.